What if, in a single moment, every lie, every secret, every hidden thought you've ever had was laid bare for the world to see today? We're exploring what would happen if humanity suddenly knew the absolute truth about each other. It wasn't an explosion. It wasn't a sound. It was a silence, a sudden, deafening clarity that swept across the globe. They called it the Great Unveiling. One moment, you're buying coffee, smiling at the barista, and the next, you know their deepest fear is loneliness, and they know you secretly resent your boss. There were no more polite fictions, no more white lies, only the raw and filtered truth, hanging in the air between every single person on the planet. The first few hours were chaos. Imagine a bustling city square. A husband looks at his wife and sees not just her love, but her lingering regret about a past relationship. A politician gives a speech, but the crowd hears his private, selfish ambitions instead of his polished words. The global stock market plummets, not because of financials, but because the collective, hidden panic of every trader becomes a tangible force. Relationships that were built on fragile deceptions crumbled in minutes. Friendships dissolved over unspoken jealousies that were now screamed silently. The world didn't end with a bang, but with the quiet, devastating sound of millions of hearts breaking at once. In the days that followed, society ground to a halt. People locked themselves indoors, terrified of the silent judgment in a stranger's eyes, terrified of the truths they'd see in their own families. The economy was in freefall. Who could negotiate a business deal when every hidden motive was exposed? Who could lead a nation when their every flaw was public knowledge? The very structures of our civilization, built on layers of social contracts and unspoken agreements, were proving to be incredibly fragile. It felt like the end of everything. But then, something unexpected began to happen. It started small. A daughter, knowing her father's unspoken pain from his childhood, sits with him in silence, not with words, but with a shared understanding that was impossible before. A doctor, seeing a patient's true, deep-seated fear of their diagnosis, offers not just medicine, but a moment of genuine human compassion. Strangers on a desolate street look at each other, and instead of just seeing a face, they see a universe of struggles, hopes, and fears that mirror their own. The initial shock was turning into something else. It was turning into empathy, a radical, overwhelming empathy. With no lies left to hide behind, people were forced to confront the messy, complicated, and often beautiful reality of being human. For the first time, we saw each other not as we presented ourselves, but as we truly were. The masks were gone. We saw the secret acts of kindness, the silent battles fought with depression, the hidden wells of courage. We saw the good intentions behind clumsy words. People started helping each other, not out of obligation, but out of a profound, newfound connection. Communities started to rebuild, but differently. They were based not on politeness, but on radical honesty and forgiveness, because when you know everyone's darkest secrets, you quickly realize you have your own. Judgment becomes difficult when you see the why behind every action. Leaders emerged who weren't polished or perfect, but were brutally honest and vulnerable, and people trusted them for it. We were creating a new world, a slower, quieter, more deliberate one. We learned that the truth wasn't a weapon, as we first feared. It was a mirror that showed us we were all flawed, all struggling, and all worthy of compassion. Of course, the world would never be the same. The concept of privacy was gone forever. Life was more emotionally intense, more raw, but it was also more real. The pain of the first days gave way to a global healing. We stopped striving for perfection and started embracing our shared, messy humanity. The Great Unveiling, which began as a terrifying curse, had become the most profound gift humanity had ever received. It forced us to tear down the walls we built around our hearts and finally, truly, see one another. In a world full of secrets, what truth about yourself would you be most afraid or most proud for everyone to see? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.